welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Ebony. I am a human design expert, and today I am going to be making a Mastering Your Authority video. And what this is after I make or do a series or I talk about certain things, I like to make a video giving you practical practices that you can do every day in order to apply the information to your life, because I'm a 3-5. So I learn through experimentation, and the way that I teach is through problem solving. So if I'm not giving practical solutions to the things that I'm learning, then I'm just, it's off for me. Like, I can just regurgitate information all day, but to me, if I'm not actually helping you live in alignment and embody these things that I'm trying to teach you, what's the fucking point of me getting in front of a camera and posting a video? Like, if I'm not helping you, what is the point if I'm just sitting here flapping my gums, you know? So that's what these videos are. They are literally practical tips, practical advice, practices that you can do to actually apply the things that I teach. So that's what's going to be. A few different announcements. Number one, I am feeling very called to open up my program that I created last year. I ran it once and I really enjoyed it. And it's called the Generator Experience. And it is all about helping you, if you're a generator or a manifesting generator, helping you to live in complete and total alignment. We go over how to respond. We go over all the different nooks and crannies of your energy type. We go over conditioning, how to overcome conditioning. It used to be a 7-day program, but I'm expanding it into a 6-week program because there wasn't enough time. I did not get to go as deeply as I wanted to with the last group that I ran it with, so I'm expanding it to a 6-week program rather than a 7-day program. I don't know when I'm going to open it. I got the inspiration today, and I was like, oh my God, that sounds like so much fun. So now I'm just kind of, restructuring it, because like I said, it was a 7-day program, and now it's going to be a 6-week program. So that's a lot of restructuring to do. But if you are interested, if you want to get on like the wait list, or have updates about it, get more information about it, if this sounds like something you'd be interested in doing, comment down below and let me know, like, yes, I would love to do that, just so I know that there's interest. I'm still gonna open it even if nobody does, because when I'm excited, I fucking do it, and it is what it is, and that's me being an MG. But if you are interested and you would like updates, or you would like, early bird stuff, comment below and I'll put you on the wait list. If you are interested in getting a reading with me, message me on Instagram. I have all my pricing on Instagram. I have Zoom readings, and email readings. So there's that. What else? Oh, I'm still doing a giveaway. So if you have not entered my giveaway and you want to have a reading and you want it to be free, you should enter my giveaway, because you might win. And I'll link that video somewhere. So yes, let's get into the actual video, because I've been talking for 3.5 minutes. Okay, so your authority is how you make aligned decisions. And it's a part of once you master your energy type, your strategy, and your authority, you've pretty much got your human design, about 85 to 90% of your human design down. Those are the biggest components when it comes to living your design. So with your authority, you want to make sure that you are spending time every day really integrating yourself and connecting with your authority, so that when you need to make when you need to make a decision, that you're making an aligned decision for you. So I'm going to go through all the authorities and give my practical tips. So if you have an emotional authority, the number one thing that I think you need to be doing every single day is tracking your emotional waves. And I'll probably go through the emotional waves in a different video, because there are 4 different waves, and you could have more than one. But we'll go into that in a different video. But track your emotional waves. And if you haven't seen the emotional authority video and you have an emotional authority, you should go watch that video. How are you feeling? Like today, how are you feeling? Give it a number, scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling? Are you feeling emotionally neutral? Are you feeling emotionally high? Are you feeling emotionally low? If you're not neutral, now is not the best time to make a decision. And going along with that, meet yourself where you are emotionally. Don't try and force yourself. And I should have mentioned this in the emotional authority video. Don't try and force yourself into an emotional high or a neutral emotional space if you are not. Having an emotional authority is about riding your waves, meeting yourself where you are emotionally, and allowing yourself to be there for as long as you need to be there. Not dwelling in it. Now, listen, we don't want to dwell there, okay? But we want to allow ourselves the space and the opportunity to feel our feelings and naturally kind of move ourselves out of it when we are ready. This is not about forcing yourself out of an emotional low, and it's not about forcing yourself into an emotionally neutral position so you can hurry up and make a quick decision. If you have an emotional authority, you need to be taking your time making decisions anyway. So that's that. Yes, so if you have an emotional authority, track your moods every day. This does not take a lot of time. You do not have to spend an hour journaling your thoughts and your feelings and no. You could take 5 minutes and be like, the fuck am I feeling today? Am I feeling high? Am I feeling low? Am I feeling neutral? Give it a number and you're done. And then throughout the day, meet yourself where you are emotionally. The more you acclimate yourself and the more you become conscious of your emotional wave and where you are, you will begin, number one, to see patterns, and number two, you'll get more accustomed to knowing where you are emotionally that much quicker. So when it comes time for you to make a decision, you'll be able to look back on your patterns and be like, oh, I'm probably going to have a release soon, so I don't think this is the best time for me to make a decision. But you won't know that if you aren't tracking it, if you have no way of knowing how your wave works for you, so that's the emotional authority. Sacral authority people, generators and MGs, you need to know, and you need to know what a yes and a no feels like in your body, or an uh-huh and an uh-uh. Because I want to say primitive, that's not the right word. Before we were conditioned to speak and use our words, as generators and MGs, we knew when we wanted to do something. Someone would ask us, do you want to do this? And be like, no. Like before we could say no, it'd be like, or uh-huh. Like that's how we responded as children. As an adult, some of us need to kind of go back to that. Because we get into this habit of explaining it away or trying to rationalize ourselves into wanting to do this. No, it is a uh-huh or it's a uh-uh. And knowing what a yes and no feels like in your gut, in your body, is very, very important. Like for me, a yes can come in a few different ways. A yes will be like my entire body like will lift up. Like if I ask myself, do I want In-N-Out for lunch, which is actually where I'm in the In-N-Out parking lot. So if you see people walking by, it's because they're. I'll ask myself, do I want In-N-Out for lunch? Like my mouth will start to turn up, like I'll start to smile, my eyebrows will raise, my body feels like it's floating upwards. I'm like, okay, cool. Or I'll have to use the bathroom. And then I'm like, yep, we want In-N-Out. And then a no feels like my body just gets really heavy, like my shoulders drop, it's just like someone dropped a weight into my body. And that's how I know what a no feels like. For you, it could be different. So really getting to know what a yes and no feels like in your body is going to be immensely helpful when it comes for you to actually respond to something. Because when your sacral center is always responding, but we're not always listening, we're not always paying attention. So our body could be saying yes, and we're just like, oh, no. And your body's like, what the fuck? Hello? So spend conscious time every day, kind of just asking yourself obvious questions. Like for me, when I was doing this, I would ask myself, like, is my name Ebony? Is my favorite color pink? Do I have 15 toes on one toe? Do I have 15 toes on one foot? And asking obvious questions that you know the answer to will get you acclimated to, okay, that's a yes question, and this is what I felt. So this must be what a yes is. And if it happens with every yes question, it's like, okay, this is what a yes feels like. And then this is what a no feels like. You can write that down, or you can just memorize it. I kind of just memorized it for me. And do this consciously. Like, don't just wait for a big decision to come up when you have to, actually know it. Practice this every single day. Practice connecting to your sacral center, to your gut, every single day. And in time, it'll be second nature. But you have to make the conscious decision to do this. It's not just going to come to you randomly one day. I mean, it might. But conscious practice okay, come on. Conscious practice is where it's at. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Okay. Moving on to splenic authority. Splenic authority can be tricky because she's stubborn. If you have spent your entire life not listening to your spleen, not listening to your splenic authority, she probably doesn't want to talk to you. Or she's speaking very low, because your intuition never shuts off. So again, in order to turn up the volume on your splenic voice, you have to start listening to your body. And it's for us as for people who have the sacral authority, we usually feel it in our gut area. It's very kind of centralized. With the spleen, it could come in many different ways. It could be a thought. It could be a tugging in your heart space. Because the spleen is all about what is right, what is healthy in your body. So you can feel it anywhere in your body. So for what I would recommend for people who have a splenic authority, or even a splenic secondary authority, meditation. I don't care how busy you are. I don't care how busy you are. You have time for 5 minutes of meditation, or even better, breath work. If you can do breath work, I definitely would recommend breath work, because that will get you out of your head and into your body real quick. And I'll link my favorite guided breath work in the description. Start consciously connecting to your body and listening when it tells you something. Don't just get the message and be like, oh, thanks, but I'm going to do this instead. What was the point? What was the point if you weren't going to listen? Right? So, getting in touch with your body. And then when you're in meditation, or after your breathwork session, ask yourself, what feels right for me to do today? Listen and apply whatever message you get, apply it. I don't care if it seems crazy to you. Because if it's coming from your intuition, there's a reason for it. And you want to be very mindful about differentiating between your intuition and your ego. And usually when you come out of a breathwork session, or even a deep meditation session, your ego isn't really a factor, because you should be in your body at that point. But if you can explain something, if you have a logical reason for wanting to do something, it most likely came from your ego rather than your intuition. So just keep that in mind. Usually when it comes from your spleen, you can't fucking explain it. It's just I need to do this. I don't know why, but I need to do it. So that is for the splenic authority. Heart authority, it's actually really simple. Get clear on what you want. What do you want for your life? What do you want today to look like? What do you want? Get very, very clear on that every single day. Get very, very clear. What would I like to accomplish today? What do I want to accomplish today? And then take steps towards that, using your heart. That sounds kind of esoteric, but You know what I mean? And every decision you make throughout the day, is this something that I really want? Is this something that my heart is in? It's all about you. But in order to follow the guidance from your heart authority, you need to know what the hell it is that you want, because that's what everything is tied up in. So if you don't know that, you're not going to be able to tell if this is something you should do, because you don't know what your end goal is. Right? So the most important thing for people who have a heart authority is knowing what the hell you want. That is number one. And then number two is giving the finger to anyone and anything that tells you that you can't have it or that you shouldn't want it. Because it's not about them. It's not about what you should want. It's about what you do want. So, I'm going to say this a lot. I don't care. I don't care what cousin Timmy wants. I don't care what Grandma Esther wants. What do you want? Because your heart authority is only concerned with what you want. So if you're bringing in everybody else's concerns and everybody else's wants, your heart's like, what the fuck is this? What the? Who is Sandra? Why the? What? Who? No. So, heart authority is really very simple. Really very simple. What do you want? Own that. Move towards that. Regardless of what anybody else says or thinks. Period. Okay. G-center authority. The best thing that I can say for people who have a G-center authority is to keep an audio journal. I know people who do not like to journal. I mean, I love journaling, but I know people who don't like to journal. But for people who have G-center authorities, your need to speak out loud in order to process things is so important. And the best way for you to do this is to have like a tape recorder or even on your phone, like voice memos. Just talk. If there's something that you're working through, record it and just talk it through. Just talk it through. And just do, like, every morning, just have a conversation with yourself. And as you can listen to them back, you will start to see patterns. You will start to see clarity. The more that you do this, the more that you allow yourself to actually speak what's going on in your head, you will find yourself sifting through years of information and years of conditioning and years of all these things you've been trying to figure out. Once you start talking it through, it will all fall into place. It will all just start to click, because that is how you are meant to work. If you have a big thing that you need to make a decision on, talk it out. Talk it out. Every single day. I don't care if you're like, I don't know what to say. I have nothing to say. Like this, I think this is really stupid. I don't think this is gonna work. If that's all you have to say, just keep saying that. Keep saying that. Keep saying that. Eventually something will come up. It will. It will. But like I said, it takes conscious effort, because this is, for most of us, this is not something we grew up doing. So I'm trying not to make this video like 30 minutes long, but we only have 2 authorities left. So for mental authority people, you need to do what's logical for you. So in order to do that, take inventory of your own mind. What do you think is logical in your life, and what do you think are not logical? Like, when you see something, take note of it. Do you think that's logical? Like, no, that I wouldn't do that. Like, they can do that, I wouldn't do that. Knowing what you personally find logical will help you when you are trying to sift through information in order to make your own aligned decisions, because you'll already have an idea of what you innately find logical and what you innately do not find logical. So it will be easier for you to come up with a decision, because you already kind of know, I don't think things like this are logical, so I'm not even going to look over here. I'm not even going to worry about this. It would come down to these things over here, right? And for you, you gather the facts, you look at the situation, you gather the facts, and you make the most logical decision for you. And to do that, it's important to know your end goal. And it's important to know what is logical for you, because what's logical for me might not be the same logic, for someone else. Especially me being a, spiritual person who believes that we're all sacred light beings who came from stars. Me, if I had a mental authority, my logic would look different from someone else's logic. So what does logic look like for you? Own that. Stand in that. And don't worry about what's logical for somebody else, because logical people like to have like these logic battles, and we're like, I'm more logical than you. I'm more logical than you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Smarty McSmartinson's idea of logic is. What's your idea of logic? What is logical for you? Follow that. Do your own research, gather your own facts, and make a decision based on that. So, yes, if you have a mental authority, figure out what is logical for you and stand in that. And you can do this just going throughout your day. Like, just look at things and be like, who decided to build that building that way? That is so not logical, right? I do that all the time, and I don't even have a mental authority. So, okay, I hope this makes sense. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below, and I will be happy to explain it better. Okay, so lunar authority people, the most important thing for you is tracking the moon, because like I said, the moon moves through the different gates, and every time it enters a gate, it activates different energy in your chart, which is why on certain days you might feel more connection to some of your centers. You might feel like you have more information, and you might, but it might also just be the fact that your different parts of your chart are being activated when the moon is in different parts of the sky. So tracking the lunar transits as it moves through the sky, and then taking note, how do I feel today? This thing that I had to make a decision on, has my perspective changed from today to now, from yesterday to now? Where is the moon? How does that correlate? Having a lunar authority, and I think I mentioned this in the lunar authority video, really comes down to trust. Trusting that you know yourself, because you're relying on something that's very much outside of you. So there has to be a level of self-awareness. How am I feeling today with the moon being where it is? That's really, really important. And especially so because you need to take your time when making a decision. Emotional, mental, and lunar authority people need to take their time when making a decision. And people will try to pressure you into making quick and fast decisions, because I don't even know why, because most people aren't supposed to be making very quick decisions, but we do apparently. You need to be able to slow down, figure out how you are feeling, figure out what the moon is doing, and use that information to make an aligned decision for yourself. So the most important thing for you is the moon. And figuring out, how is the moon affecting my chart today? What connections are being activated in my chart because of where the moon is? And how is that affecting my decision-making process? How am I feeling about this thing that I have to make a decision on now that the moon is where it is? Every day. These practices that I'm talking about in this video, you guys, this is not a one-day thing. This is not a once-a-week thing. This is every day. Taking time every day to connect to your authority. Taking time every day to connect to your body, to your intuition, to what you want. This is the work, guys. This is the work. Not watching the YouTube videos and getting all the information and taking notes. No, the work is getting into your body. It's getting into you. It's getting into who you are and what you want and how you are meant to move through this reality, through this world, through this universe. This is the work. So we're almost at 30 minutes. We're going to end it here. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you're interested in the generator experience, leave a comment. If you want my free human design guidebook, that's in the description. If you want a reading, follow me on Instagram, message me. And if you haven't entered my giveaway, we're ending it on the 13th. So go ahead and do that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.